started my own version of spss. I'm actually using spss statistics version 17.0. You're probably going to be using version 20 or an older version, but I promise you something, everything I do here is going to be applicable in every version. Okay, so do not freak out if you're not using the exact version I'm using here. We'll be all fine. When you're starting my SPSS for the first time, you're likely going to be looking at this particular window. Don't freak out, there's nothing strange here. You can do one of two things. You can either close it from here or make any right selection here. And so I think it's only fair that I take my time out to describe what is happening here, so that when next you see it, you should know what to do, right? Fine. All right, so let's get started. Now what we have here at the top is run the tutorial, and it basically means that you could actually launch spss own help feature, which allows you, or which shows you exactly what to do. Okay, for some it might be fun, for some it might not be. So you might want to click on the radio button there and click on OK. It's going to launch the help feature and show you what spss is about. Now the second button there stands for type in data, allows you to start or open the program directly and begin to enter data and start your work. Okay, whereas you trying to run an existing query assumes that you already have your spss job somewhere and you're trying to continue from what you did. Okay, the same thing would apply to you creating a query using a database wizard when you're linking it to a database. I wouldn't go into that right now. We'll probably look at that much later. Assuming you probably have spss open somewhere or as another file in probably another location in your computer, you could open it here. The same thing also applies here. Okay, probably as time progresses and we are opening several files, we might look at how we could open from either of these, but in the meantime I'm just going to conveniently close this window. Okay, now this window is going to, closing this window is going to do something. It's going to make it setting that I am going to be using the second option by default, and so I'm just going to close in or close that window, and that is what we look at. And this environment looks pretty much like Microsoft Excel. For those of you who have not looked at it, please go ahead to look at it, but for argument's sake I'm going to launch my own version of Excel here, and I think we are looking at something similar. So let's just show you that here. Yes, this is Microsoft Excel window and this is SPSS's own window, and they look pretty similar. Can you note the similarity? All right, we have rows and we have columns. Yes, that's pretty much the basic similarity. Other than that, the functionality is quite different, but that's the major similarity. You enter in data here, you enter in data here, and so you're coming to Excel and you're typing in here and you're typing in numbers. It's the same thing that you also apply in spss. So there's nothing really much there. Okay, however, in as much as they have their similarities, there are some muscles, okay, or muscles that spss is tries to flex that makes it the preferred choice for statistical analysis. So depending on which you want to go for, you might find Excel a better choice. So let me conveniently close Microsoft Excel right now, and let us focus more on spss. And so just like we just saw over there, it's looking kind of similar to Microsoft Excel as far as the environment is concerned. However, we would need to take our time now to look at some of its special features that Excel doesn't have, so that as we begin to apply or use the program proper, we shouldn't have any problem. And that is what I'm going to do in the next video, and so sit tight.